Howdy, howdy, everybody. Welcome back to the Rational Cults fan page. It's Kyle again. If you see that I'm wearing the same shirt as I did in What's Happening in Sports number one, it's because same day. I made this video originally uh, as a grand What's Happening with the UFC, NFL, and NBA. It was a little long, of course. I'm long-winded, but also on top of that, we were getting a bunch of copyright strikes. They wouldn't even let us upload the video, so I'm having to go back and redo this video. However, in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit of the NFL and kind of the joke that the NFL off season is usually. That's not entertaining to the draft and things like that. And then also, I wanted to talk about the NBA draft, and specifically the Indiana Pacers and how I think we were screwed. So if you're wanting to see that kind of content, you're in the right place, and we'll get on into the video. We got to talk a little bit about the NFL. Of course, they always do this every year where they poll players, right? The NFL players were asked by the NFLPA and asked if they preferred grass or turf fields. Overwhelmingly, 92% wanted grass. Uh, Very, very typical. I know me personally as an athlete playing on a turf field versus playing on a natural grass field, two completely different feels. You feel like you can play a little harder on grass. It's completely different. It's an investment in your players to move to art or to grass. Artificial turf has been the detriment to a lot of players, and of course they want to show Goodell here with that, but specifically they put Malik Neighbors on here, and I think it is beautiful that they did, mostly because he is a guy who suffered a knee injury in a stadium that is notably known for destroying ligaments of players and injuries in general, but specifically ligaments. You have a higher knee, like ACL, MCL tear ratio than any other stadium out there. And I mean, that's where Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. It's the New York Jets and the New York Giants play in one of the worst stadiums out there, and it not only is it bad for their players, but it's bad for any player that goes out there and plays. And funny here in the comments they say the 8% is kickers and long snappers. That's true. It does help in their transition, and plus for long snappers, or my bad, for kickers specifically, they love the way it comes off because they get an extra like yard or two because it's coming off of a better surface than it is natural turf. So it's just funny that they threw that in there, right? And we know that they are willing to make modifications in order to match players' needs, because as y'all know, the World Cup is going to be hosted by the United States. A lot of these stadiums are actually having to make modifications. Specifically, they're having to wheel in actual turf that is, to the specifications of FIFA, and they do it at cost. Like they're like the stadiums, in order to host this event, is going to have to do that because they will not play on that artificial turf because they know how dangerous it is to their players. And to give another example, is Dallas in Dallas, Texas. Well, actually Arlington is Jerry World, as some people call it, but it's the AT&T Stadium where the Dallas Cowboys play at, and Jerry Jones helped publicly fund this project and said it was going to bring a whole bunch of income to Arlington, but hey, whatever. But they have been notoriously known for having this massive window unit on the side of this stadium that directly has the after or like evening sun coming through it, and it has been a horrible, horrible addition to any football game. And people have been talking all the time, please just cover it up, because people like CD Lamb, who this GIF is about, that's put up at the top, he has dropped a couple balls and he hasn't even like seen some balls that have come his way that if there would have been, some sort of coverage there, dude, he would have probably caught that ball and had a touchdown. So it's so funny that they're willing to make these modifications for events that they seem more worthy than how the NFL treats their own players. And now, as we head over to the NBA draft, I will just want to drop in here a little bit about Tyrese Halliburton. This dude tore his Achilles in Game 7 of the NBA Finals after having one of the most amazing streaks of any NBA player ever in a playoff run. And his team sucked this year. I mean, we had a lot. I mean, the Pacers, we struggled this year. And some people say that it was a tanking season. And I'm going to completely destroy this. Number one, Tyrese Halliburton getting voted as one of the most overrated players out of in the NBA is insane to me. This guy, everybody wants to play with a player like Halliburton, dude. I don't understand why people hate on guys who are not just ball dominant scorers. Like, why do you hate on people like that? Like, a guy who truly elevates his team better than anybody else in the league, in my opinion. I mean, why wouldn't you want to go play with that guy? And how is that guy overrated? How? Like, he put belt to ass to a lot of these teams who are in the playoffs this year. The Cavs and the Knicks, who are running in the Eastern Conference Final right now, got bounced by Halliburton. He gave, look right here, this choke here, that was from the New York Knicks series because they choked. Regardless, it's insane that people are even talking about Halliburton being overrated. And the people who do talk about Tyrese Halliburton being underrated are some of the most brain dead people I've ever seen in my life. So look, Cade Cunningham, right? In the last game, I believe, of their series where they dropped to the Cavs, which to start off, the Pistons were one of the best teams in the East this year, and they lose to the Cavaliers. And in one of their final games, this might be the final game, Cade Cunningham put up an average game, I would say, but a stinker if you're a superstar. So he kind of put up a stinker of 12 points, 3 rounds, 5 assists, or 3 rebounds, 5 assists, right? Everybody's better than Halliburton until it's time to be better than Halliburton. So this guy quotes it and he feels so confident. He's like, yeah, shame on Cade for putting up a Halliburton stat line instead of outproducing him. Just to be completely put to rest as like, here's Halliburton in the conference semifinals, Game 7. Thanks for admitting you don't watch basketball. 26 points, 6 assists out of 32 minutes, 10 of 17 from the field. I mean, this guy is, he would be everybody's number one option except for about like 10 teams in the league. Halliburton is really good, and I'm just proud that the Pacers have him. So now we get to the NBA draft, right? The NBA has such a problem with how they're operated because the NBA does not understand the way a professional sports league should be run. Okay. And I mean this whenever I say this. Whenever it came to this draft lottery, right? And how all of the percentages went out, the way that the lottery fell has to be called into question. I mean, at the very least, has to be called into question. So, as we look here, Washington got the first overall pick. Utah got the second pick. Memphis got the third pick. Chicago got the fourth. And then the Clippers got the fifth. Technically, it would have been the Pacers, but we did trade for Zubac in during the season because we needed a center. Miles Turner leaving us for Milwaukee. We just needed a center who was going to go out there, play really good on ball defense on bigs, specifically on bigs. So that way we can allow Siakam to be more of a offensive minded forward and not play a true center position, which I think is going to completely open up his game. But what it cost us, in my opinion, has been a lot. But it shows the NBA's true colors here. So whenever we go down to what the odds of the draft lottery was, so first and foremost, Washington and Indiana were the two worst teams this year. Now, one specifically being Washington got Trae Young and Anthony Davis this year. Okay. They sat them a majority of the season and they ended up being the worst team, right? Lucky for them, they get the number one overall pick. But the second worst team out there was Indiana, and we had a 14% lottery odds, same as Brooklyn. Brooklyn was also a historically bad team. Not for that team, but for the NBA. So whenever we look at these, so Brooklyn Nets, Washington, Indiana, Utah, even Sacramento, Memphis. Whenever we go back up here, we look, Washington got this, okay. Memphis and Utah got top three, cool. Chicago got 4. Chicago was what? 4.5%. How does Chicago? Okay, that's weird. All right, now let's go back. So the Pacers at 14% get 5. Oh, okay, it goes to the Clippers. Bullshit, in my opinion, but okay, whatever. Then Brooklyn. So one team of the 14% odds got the first pick, and then the next two got 5, 6. Right? Right. Okay. 14% chance to get in there into the top 4 picks and two teams with the highest. What? Yeah. Okay. Whatever. I mean, it just, and it's complete bullshit, right? So they're trying to sit here and they're trying to say, oh, well, the Pacers tanked, they tanked, they sat out all these people. A lot of our guys were hurt. Notable Pacer players that played fewer than 60 games. Of course, Halliburton was out all year, Achilles injury. Obi Toppin, 20. He only played 24 games this year. He was hurt majority of the year, and that was a huge contributor to our playoff run. Naismith played 45 games. He played more games than Kawhi Leonard for majority of his time with the Clippers. Yet whenever it happens with the Indiana, we got to send the Clippers the 5th overall pick because with 14%, y'all just don't make it. Yeah, okay, fuck you. McConnell, again, I don't think we can truly replicate that magic that was that playoff series. We can come back a better team, but what he did that playoff series, especially Nembhard, Naismith, like these 3 guys here contributed so much in that playoff series, and for them to practically only play about half the season, Naismith a little bit more than or right at it, that's a huge detriment to your team. Now, whenever they were playing and they played teams like the Knicks, they busted that ass. So y'all don't forget about that. But whenever we sit back and we look at, what the odds next season were like. So this season it was 14%, right? And remember, this team and this team got 5 and 6. And then some of these teams got in the top 4. Crazy. But this is the way it is. It's a slope, right? Where it's like usually the worst teams get some of the first picks, right? And then not anymore. Not anymore. Hey, so basically Adam Silver says spend your money. And if you're a small market team, it's your fault that you're going to get poached for your star players. It just is what it is. This is a big market stronghold. This helps out places like LA, New York. It helps out places like Miami. It helps out places like all these teams that can literally not make playoffs and have the same percentage as a team who was the worst in the league. And just to prove my point, here's a fellow Pacers fan. As soon as we found out as a unit, as a collective unit, that our team lost out on a lottery pick. It just, oh my God, bro. Like we can't get lucky for shit, bro. Like we'll never have any luck. Like and this tweet right here sums it up so much for me. I mean, give me a fucking break. Are we still having to talk about Malice in the Palace? Are we still like living off of those times? Did David Stern just grill it into Adam Silver fuck over the Pacers? Like what in the fuck is the reason for that? That makes no sense. And it's embarrassing that our GM has to come out and or well, president has to come out and apologize for taking that risk. It's like, hey man, we had a 40% chance of getting a top 4 pick, right? We had a 40% chance, mind you, 14 at the first pick, 10 something percent at the second pick, 9 something at the third, still roughly 10%, but 40% to be a top 4 pick. We just lost that coin toss. You know, it's a shame that our president has to come out and say that we deserved one of those top 4 picks. For us to fall to 5, like just at it. Like if we were in the top 4, we keep our pick. But us to be right at the oh, you just missed it. It makes no sense. I mean, for a lot of things that are going on, how does the ball never fall in the way of the Pacers? Uh, Even with that, the Pacers look good for next year, bro. We're gonna be on demon time, hopefully. Hopefully. With Tyrese, Nembhard, Naismith, Siakam, Zubac, bro, McConnell, Shepard, Walker, Toppin, and J Huff. That's who I was forgetting. Yes, we need another player. I do think we need another big. Uh, we'll see what's out there on the market. I mean, obviously, you know, it'd be nice to have someone who legitimately has a little bit left in their career, and we don't have to get just a aging veteran. But I think finding somebody that can help us on the rotation, let kind of split with Jay Huff and who's coming in for Zubac in certain situations. I think that's the best for us because I believe our backcourt is pretty loaded with young talent who want to play hard, who like to play together. And I didn't talk about the playoffs in this video, mostly because today's the 30th. It's game day for game 7 of the Western Conference Final. I mean, the Eastern Conference Final was a joke. The Cavs were frauds. The Knicks, this is the easiest route to the playoffs that they've ever had. Don't have to deal with the Indiana Pacers. Don't have to deal with the Celtics, yada, yada, all that. But, of course, the Western Conference Final. I'm a big hater on OKC and how they play basketball. I'm also very critical on the Knicks. I think they play exactly the same. Game 7, my prediction is doesn't matter how much of a hero Wemby is if he goes out there and dog walks them, doesn't matter. I think OKC gets the nod. Um, it's just how I'm feeling. An hour and a half before the game. PSG beat Arsenal, so I think he's pretty content with. I say he by Victor Wembanyama. I think he's pretty content in how the sports day has gone. Hopefully he can be the savior, and he goes and he beats the Thunder and he beats OKC. But whatever, man. If you're a fan of OKC or you're a fan of the Knicks or you're a fan of some of these teams, that's all you, man. It is what it is. But hey, guys, appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for, hopefully getting to this point and listening to me the entire time. So appreciate you guys. If you could like, subscribe, leave a comment, it helps out a lot. I appreciate you, and you have a blessed day.